What's good, guys? I am so happy right now. So I went up in my attic and I found two very old books. Well, one isn't as old. This is actually a magazine. Now, this magazine is back from 2001, and this is a collector's special edition Pokemon Master Guide for Pokemon Crystal. As you can see, it was £3.95. And inside of this bad boy here, it says the Pokemon Crystal walkthrough, full Pokemon Stadium 2 guide, advanced fighting and breeding tips, posters, and red hot news. Pikachu on GameCube, new Celebi movie shots, red hot Pokemon inside. As you can see here, Pokemon Crystal, look at Pichu. Where to catch them all, crystal differences. Kishnog, just go away, dude. Why would you enter into my stream about Pokemon to say, oh, Pokemon sucks? Well, thanks, man, because I'm getting paid for these videos. So enjoy. So, Pokemon Crystal, where to catch them all, crystal differences, advanced breeding tips, essential trainer's guide, all you need to know about Pokemon Crystal, Pokemon Stadium 2, beat every trainer, the best battle tactics, cool attack combos, every secret revealed, be a stadium master with an unbeatable Pokemon guide. All you need to be a Pokemon pro. Do you know how gassed I am to the fact that I actually still own this? Let's have a look at some of these. So, for example, some of the games that were on here were the Addams Family for the Game Boy Color. Whoa, remember that symbol from Fox Kids? Damn, that's way back in the day. That's way back in the day right there. So, Fort Boyard, never played that game. The Fish Files, is that like they taking a mick out of the X Files or something? Casper, I think I actually remember playing that on the Game Boy Advance. Shout out to Lathan Kelly, I think he had it. So as we can see here, I actually had one of these, the Game Boy Advance. Very underrated games console. They're pretty cool. I can't remember what my favorite game was. It was a Super Mario game. So as you can see here, Pokemon Crystal, go to page 4. The greatest Pokemon adventure is finally here, and we've got all the tips you need to be a master. Pokemon tips, complete breeding guide, the best tactics. Join Professor Oak and the Nintendo official magazine Xbox as they uncover the special kept Pokemon Crystal secrets. That is so cool. Yeah, but I'm not that sad, man, to make money off. Like, I have every single Pokemon Master Guide, so I wouldn't be making money off this. Like, it's like all the movies that I have, all the Pokemon movies. I could make money off them if I really wanted to, but don't want to do that. Pokemon Stadium 2, a game that I actually never played, and I wish I did play. Oh, look at this! Just looks so cool. So, hold tight, Pokemaniacs, and the Crystal Adventure is about to unfold before you. And if you need some help and advice, you've come to the best place to go. It actually makes me want to crack out my DS and actually start playing Crystal again. So, once again, Professor Oak is the ultimate authority for all things Pokemon. He's ably assisted by his mate, Professor Elm, in the Bark Town, but Professor Oak's still the man when it comes to monster knowledge. As with all education of Pokemon Master Guide so far, Professor Oak is the hand throughout the entire magazine to give you the advice when your problems present themselves. Pay attention to his words of wisdom and you'll become a master in no time. Even if you've played Pokemon Gold and Silver, there are brand new elements in this adventure which can catch you off guard. Keep this guide by your side and you'll be able to breeze through the Johto and Kanto region with confidence. That is one thing I actually really loved about Crystal, Gold, and Silver, was the fact that you could go back to the Kanto region, and it was like a dual regional game. So as you can see, we've got some screenshots here from Azia Town and the slowpokes that used to hang about by there. So now we have on this page, we have monster tips. So it says, before you start trying to catch them all, you're going to need a quick guide on what's actually out there in the Crystal version. Check this lot out. So it shows you some Pokemon that are missing, obviously, from Pokemon Crystal. So in Pokemon Crystal, you couldn't get a Bulbasaur, an Ivysaur, a Venusaur. You couldn't get a Charmander, Charmeleon, or a Charizard. You couldn't have Squirtle, Wartortle, or Bulbasaur, which were grass, fire, and water starters. from Generation 1. You couldn't get Vulpix, Ninetales, Mankey, Primate, Omnimite, Omnistar, Kabuto, Kabutops, Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. You couldn't get Mewtwo, Mew, Celebi, Octillery, Remoraid, Girafarig, Ampharos, Flaffy, and Mareep. But you can get Celebi, but it was updated years and years later. But for at the time, this magazine is right. At that moment in time, no, you could not get Celebi in Pokemon Crystal. So some more little tips and tricks. So these are obviously the starter Pokemon for that generation. So Chikorita was the grass type starter. It is definitely the cutest of the 3 starters. But she's a brave choice. Only masters should choose Chicky. So grass type Chikorita isn't the strongest against the first wild Pokemon you'll meet, which is Sentret, Hoot, and so on. You'll soon need to catch another beast quickly to take on the strain. Chikorita is also weak against the first gym leader, so you'll need to build a strong team from the wild creatures that you catch. Chikorita is an excellent Pokemon, but only if she's part of a well-trained squad. She isn't strong enough to lead from the front. Then we have Totodile, who is the water starter, who is the Pokemon that I chose because I always choose the water starters in Pokemon games. It's just something that I've been doing since pretty much the very first Pokemon game that I had, which was, funny enough, Pokemon Blue. So wacky water type Totodile is probably the best choice for anyone who hasn't played a Pokemon game before. Totodile is a flexible creature to have in your squad as he can learn more of the HM moves such as Waterfall, Surf, and Whirlpool, which are essential to completing the quest. So what's the score with Totodile? Totodile isn't the weakest against early Pokemon or leaders, meaning you don't have to rely so heavily on creatures you caught in the wild. And here's a tip for Totodile. With the ability to learn so many essential hidden machines, Totodile is a creature who'll take you through the whole game. And I can definitely say that because Totodile was the Pokemon that I used to literally finish the game. I used it in every single gym. But I am someone with Pokemon games that literally hyper trains their Pokemon. And by that, I mean, I do not leave the first grass until my Pokemon is like level 30. I know a lot of you wouldn't do that because there's just a lot of wasted time. The only reason why I do that is it just makes it a lot easier for me as I don't have to worry about any sort of Pokemon that I'm going to face in the near future. And last but certainly not least, a lot of people's favorite, Cyndaquil. The fiery Cyndaquil may look like a weasel, but he grows into one of the game's most fearsome beasts, the terrifying Typhlosion. What is the score with Cyndaquil? So, without a doubt, Cyndaquil and its evolutions are some of the toughest, strongest fighters in the game. Typhlosion will still be in your squad of 6 when you challenge the Elite Four. If you choose Totodile or Chikorita, it can take a long time to complete the game, but you'll breeze through with Cyndaquil. The duo Typhlosion and Lugia can crush the Elite Four in seconds, so Cyndaquil's is the Nintendo Magazine starter Pokemon choice. So Nintendo Magazine actually backed Cyndaquil when Crystal came out. So let's have a look at some tips. There are many others things that you need to know about the Pokemon and the game that I'm going to run through quickly. Some Pokemon aren't found in the wild and you can only get them in special events. These Pokemon include Chikorita, Cyndaquil, and Totodile in Elm's lab, Togepi from Elm's assistant, and Tyrogue in Mount Mortar. Other creatures can go from traders. These are all detailed in the later guide as prizes in Game Corner or in the Bug Catchers contest. Some creatures will only appear once in the game, so you have to make sure you save before you try to catch them again. If you actually accidentally make them fate, or you have to all you have to do is switch your Game Boy off and try again. The one-off Pokemon in Crystals are Ho-Ho, Lugia, Entei, Suicune, Raikou, Sudowoodo, which is an event, and Aerodactyl from an in-game trader. And Snorlax, you'll only get given one EV2. So there are a few Pokemon that you can basically only ever acquire in the game once. So what does it say here? Choose your starter. Like in other versions of Pokemon release games for the Game Boy console, so far choosing a suitable monster companion is the game's first challenge. Professor Oak will offer you a difficult choice between 3 race and previous creatures in his laboratory in New Bark Town, and you'll have to make a decision between your choice of Cyndaquil, Totodile, or Chikorita. All 3 of them are impressive creatures that grow into powerful fighting beasts, so you can't really make a bad choice at this early stage in the Crystal Adventure. However, Chikorita, Totodile, and Cyndaquil each have a personality of their own, so choose the one which best suits your playing style if you need more advice on making a choice on your decision. Oh, wow. Don't know if you guys remember this bad boy. This right here is the red legendary Gyarados. Or should I say the shiny Gyarados. So you're probably wondering, what do you mean by a shiny Gyarados? So, shiny Gyarados you could catch in the Lake of Rage, which I'm going to tell you about now. Sometimes when you encounter a wild Pokemon, you'll notice stars spinning around them before the battle starts. You'll also notice that the Pokemon is a different color to the normal type or variant, such as a red Gyarados in the Lake of Rage. Colorful or shiny Pokemon have the same stats as normal creatures, but they're super rare and worth catching. You can't run from battles with shiny Pokemon, so you just have to try and catch them. Be sure you've got a shiny. To be sure you've got a shiny, press start to check the status of these creatures. Always has 3 stars beside their gender symbol. All Pokemon species in Crystal version have a shiny cousin, even the rare one are such as Ho-Ho and Lugia. So you actually could get a shiny Ho-Ho or a shiny Lugia. Pokemon keep their unique appearances when they evolve, but they don't pass it on when they're breeding. So if you was to get a shiny Pokemon, for example, say you had a shiny Squirtle and it evolved into a Wartortle, it would become a shiny Wartortle. But say you try to breed that Pokemon, you cannot breed a Pokemon to become a shiny. It's just something that's always been that way in Pokemon games. So Gyarados is a cool Pokemon, but the shiny red beast at the Lake of Rage looks incredible. Shiny or colorful Pokemon always have 3 stars beside their gender name. If in despite of a shiny version or Lugia or Ho-Ho or any of the rare Pokemon which appear in the game, save before you battle. So obviously if you save before you battle, you'll have a greater chance of getting the shinier variant, because if you don't get it, you just keep resetting your game until you eventually find it. Anyways, here is a picture from Pokemon Stadium with just look at all these Generation 1 Pokemon. That just looks beautiful. Okay, we're only on page 9. Okay, so catch them all. If you want to become a true Pokemon master, all you have to do to become quick at being a dab hand at catching wild Pokemon, this is some of the advice that you will need to know. So, wild Pokemon places. If you've played Pokemon games before, you'll know that wandering through the grass and surfing on water is an easy way for you to find wild Pokemon. However, there are a few new ways you can discover creatures in the wild in Pokemon Crystal, many of which will allow you to uncover the rarest of beasts. In the tallest grass, it is the Pokemon poker games such as Red and Green, which had you strolling around in grass to randomly encounter battles with wild Pokemon. But Crystal improves upon that. So you may find different types of Pokemon depending on what time you search, whether that be day, morning, or night. Nocturnal beasts aren't stronger after dark. The time in Crystal is divided into 3 separate periods. Morning runs from 4 a.m. until 9:59 a.m. The day runs from 10 a.m. until 5:56 p.m. and darkness descends on Johto and Kanto and the Kanto region from 6 p.m. and through until 3:49 a.m. So, as it says here, smashing rocks. The rock smash move allows you to shatter the cracked rocks you'll find in certain areas, like the ones in the shot below. This is a good way to find Krabby and Shuckle. So yeah, by cracking certain rocks, you could find Pokemon in Crystal. So caves and caverns, certain Pokemon such as certain Pokemon only appear in certain places such as Mount Mortar or Mount Moon and are crawling with Pokemon that you can find in there walking around. Swarming Pokemon. Some Pokemon only appear in certain regions in great numbers. When swarming, you can exchange phone numbers with certain trainers after battles, and they'll call you when the creature is swarming in their areas. All the details you need to find can be found throughout walkthroughs. So here are some places that you can find some wild Pokemon. So in the water-type Pokemon that live in the ponds, lakes, rivers, oceans around Kanto and Johto regions either use a fishing rod or surf on the water so that you can battle with them. And the Pokemon that you'll meet while you're surfing are none other than Dratini, Mantine, Goldeen, Quagsire, Psyduck, Golduck, Wooper, Grimer, Gyarados, Magikarp, Muck, Poliwag, Poliwhirl, Seahorse, Seadra, Seaking, Slowbro, Slowpoke, Tentacool, and Tentacruel. Pokemon caught with Old Rod up to level 10, you can get a Poliwag, Tentacruel, Krabby, Goldeen, and a Magikarp. Pokemon caught with Gold Rod up to level 20 are Poliwag, Tentacool, Krabby, Horsey, Goldie, Magikarp, Gyarados, Dratini, Shelder, Staryu, Chinchou, and Lantern. And Pokemon caught with a Super Rod up to level 40 are Poliwag, Tentacruel, Krabby, Horsey, Seadra, Krabby, Horsey, Goldeen, Magikarp, Gyarados, Dratini, Shelder, Staryu, Chinchou, Lantern, Seadra, Seaking, Dragonair, Krabby, Kingler. Hold on, it's got Krabby twice. They've messed up here. Look, they put Krabby twice. That's silly. Quillfish and Corsola. You can catch Apon in the high mountain regions, which is this mischievous monkey Pokemon. Also, wild Pokemon places. In the trees, there are new moves that you can use in order to encounter Pokemon, such as Headbutt, which allows you to knock Pokemon out of stumpy, triangular-looking trees. However, the creature you find depends on the region. So you can use Headbutt on small, stumpy trees and knock Pokemon out of these trees. Woodland regions, these trees can be found on Route 26, 27, 29, 30, 31, 32, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 43, Elix Forest, and on the banks of the Lake of Rage. And the Pokemon that you can get out of the trees are Venomnat, Spinrack, Leatherbay, Noctowl, Hoot, Ekans, Beedrill, Metapod, Weedle, Kahuna, Butterfree, Execute, Pineco, Caterpie. And in the mountain regions, these trees can be found on Route 33 and 42 and 44. And in Azalea Town, and the Pokemon that you can encounter are Ekans, Spearow, Apom, and Heracross. Got Togepi there, looking all cute. So, the perfect catch. Seasoned Pokemon pros will probably have got catching Pokemon creatures down to the fine art by now, but here are some tips to help you guys out in this guide. This method has worked for us since the dawn of time in Pokemon Red and Pokemon Blue for getting your Pokemon collection on the way. Whittle down the creature that you're trying to attack, their energy bar, until they have a few HP left. Your Pokemon should be around the same level as the creature you're trying to catch, preferably lower and not super effective against the wild beast. You don't want to make them faint, as obviously you cannot catch a Pokemon that has fainted. Number 2, use quite a weak attack to drain the Pokemon's HP slowly and carefully. You can pull the wild beast to sleep, paralyze it, or use a freezing attack so it doesn't fight back. Just make sure its energy bar turns red or yellow. And number 3, now start chucking Pokeballs. If you're trying to catch a strong beast such as Snorlax, you'll need loads of monster traps. If a Pokemon sells balls such as Ultras, you'll probably need them to catch strong Pokemon in the local areas. So, Professor Oak, you've nearly got all the info you need to start catching wild creatures, but before you rush off, here are a few more pointers which will help. Number 1, when weakening a Pokemon, use a creature at a similar level to the one that you're trying to catch. If your beast is stronger, it will make the wild critter faint before you'll get a chance to actually catch it. 2, if you want to catch a Pokemon, don't use a creature with a super effectiveness against it, because it will easily make it faint. You want to try and use Pokemon that have moves such as Sleep or Paralyze, as it makes it a lot easier for you to obviously catch a Pokemon. Normal type Pokemon moves such as False Swipe is useful when catching. It's not very accurate, but when it does hit its target, it reduces a Pokemon's HP to 1. Even normal Pokeballs can easily catch a creature which has been weakened so effectively, so use this move as often as possible. Other great moves that you can use are Spider Web and Mean Look, which stop Pokemon from fleeing the battle so they can't run. If you're serious about catching a Pokemon, don't use moves which can poison, drain energy, or burn. Creatures affected by these attacks will lose HP each round, and they may faint before you actually get a chance to use a Pokeball. Some rare and precious Pokemon only appear in great numbers when swarming. Many trainers in the game have devoted their lives to watching for swarms, and if you meet one, make sure you exchange phone numbers with that character, as they will call you at periodic times in the game to let you know when Pokemon are swarming. Remember, if a creature is already in your Pokedex, a tiny Pokeball will appear next to their name, basically indicating that you've caught them. So, new crystal moves that have now been added in. So, Dugtrio in Pokemon Gold and Silver, Dugtrio only started life with one move, Scratch. However, in Pokemon Crystal, Dugtrio starts life with two moves, Scratch, and Tri Attack is its other move. So, we have Magneton. Magneton's move in Crystal is largely the same as it were in Gold and Silver. However, it now learns Tri Attack at level 35 rather than Swift at level 35, which was the case, obviously, when it was in Gold and Silver. Ariados, like Spinarak, Ariados learns most of its moves at the same level as it did in Gold and Silver. However, in the Crystal version, it learns Agility at level 53 rather than Screech, and its only other moves, and as level 53 rather than Screech. All its other moves are the same. Yanmega, which is actually a really good Pokemon and was one of my first, I think it was like one of my very first shiny Pokemon that I ever got. Yanmega, another Pokemon whose moves are largely unchanged, but it does learn a different attack at level 37. In Gold and Silver, it got Swift, but in Crystal, it learns Wing Attack. Spinarak, Sneaky Spinarak still learns moves at the same level as it did in Pokemon Gold and Silver, but in Crystal version, it learns Agility at level 45 rather than Screech. Eevee, in Pokemon Crystal, Eevee learns Baton Pass, move which reaches level 36 in Gold and Silver. Eevee got Focus Energy instead when it grew to level 36 in Crystal. So, some more Pokemon that we have here. So we got Quillfish, Cloyster, Swinub, Pillow-Swine, Suicune, which is the legendary, obviously, of Crystal, and Sneasel. I would read through all of this, but I think we'll be here all day. But yeah, it's a very good magazine to have. Obviously, this is another great one as well for you all to learn. So this is about Tyrogue. So if you want to get a Hitmontop, you need to have your stats for your defense and your attack to be exactly the same by you reach level 20 and you'll evolve into a Hitmontop. If your attack is higher, you will get a Hitmonchan. If your defense is higher, you will get a Hitmonlee. So that's by level 20. You start off as a Tyrogue. So yeah, just goes to show what can happen. Now, another Pokemon, one of my favorites. If you thought Creature's evolution was complicated in red-blue versions of the Pokemon, you ain't seen nothing yet. There are now several different ways you can evolve your favorite Pokemon in the game, each of which gives you a brand new creature, evolving by leveling up. Many Pokemon, such as the 3 starters you were offered in Elm's lab, will evolve when they reach a certain level. If you want to stop them from evolving, you just press B, and you can stop a Pokemon from evolving to make it grow stronger if you want it to stay at that pre-evolution that it is. Evolution by elemental stones, should I say. Some special creatures in the game will reach their next stage of evolution when exposed to radiation from the elemental stones. In the Crystal version of Pokemon, some creatures will evolve differently depending on the elemental stone used. For more details and use on elemental stones, you want to turn to page 53. Right here. Evolution by GB Trading. Just like red and blue versions of Pokemon, some creatures will only evolve into their next form when they have been traded across from a Pokemon cartridge via the Game Boy Link cables. As an added twist, some Pokemon in Crystal version will only evolve when traded if you attach an item to them during the process. But that's one of my favorite Pokemon right there. But as you can see, like this is gold, guys. This is gold. I know people were saying to me, well, you could sell this. Like, dude, I'm not going to sell this. This is going to stay with me for a very long time. Like, I actually have a guide for Crystal. So if I ever decided to start playing Crystal again, I know where every Pokemon is. I know how to get every move, acquire every item. And this costs £3.95. If you were buying a game guide these days, they cost you about 20 quid, and it probably would not be worth it. I used to collect this magazine a lot, and I can honestly say I really wish that the culture for gaming magazines was still as frequent as what it was years ago, as this is something that is very near and dear to me. And I'm just glad that I'm one of them nerds that decided to keep a little bit of history, just so that when I got older, that eventually when I have kids, I'll show this to my kids and be like, hey, do you remember what a game magazine was? And yeah, brilliant magazine, great illustrations, really good explanations as well, because this magazine is made for children, so the explanations aren't the hardest to understand, and it's everything you need. And at the time, this was like my go-to guide for Crystal. Anything I got stuck on, any problems, I went to this guide, and this guy pretty much provided me with everything I needed. Like I said, it was £3.95. I think that was like my pocket money or something for like a week or something in order to get this guide. And once I got it, you did not see GMG News. I was up in my room with my Game Boy playing this until all hours of the night. And this was probably some of the most fun I've had in gaming for many, many years. But if you enjoyed me flicking through my very old Pokemon Master Guide for Pokemon Crystal, leave a like on this video. And you never know, I might go through some of my older books as well, just to show you all some of the bits and pieces that I've been keeping for all of these years. But just try and hold on to any like game and memorabilia that you've got, not just because it's going to be worth money, just because when you get older, it's just nice to look back at. This is from 2001. This is 19 years old. Look at that. Remember the Pokemon Mini? Oh my days. You remember that Pokemon Mini? The Pokemon Mini is a brand new handheld console from Nintendo, which is designed to play exclusive monster mini games. The Pokemon Mini uses cartridges, which are even smaller than the Game Boy cartridges, and 4 games will be available when it's released next year, including the athletic game called Pokemon Party. The Mini also has infrared ports, which allow players to use and exchange data very simply. That is so cool. So, it just goes to show like some of the cool little things that you could have, like the card e-reader on the Game Boy Advance. This system was way advanced for its time. So this was obviously like the introduction of Pikachu into Smash, Pokemon Stadium 2. Like this is a chart which tells you the dual type chart for all the different Pokemon up until obviously that generation. But yeah, just a very cool, detailed guide / review of Pokemon. And I'm from the 90s. Like I was born in the 90s, so this is something that is very near and dear to my heart. Pokemon means a lot to me, and I'm glad that I kept some of the little bits of gaming memorabilia that I've had over all these years. And if you want to see how old this is, you just look here. Look at some of the stuff that they're offering. Like, look at this TV. We're in a home TV system. That's a video player and a TV. A Sony Ericsson T20 Tomb Raider mobile phone. A Nokia 8210 mobile phone. A Pentium 4 computer. A Game Boy Advance you could win. You could win a laptop, which comes with a 58K modem. You could win wrestling goods. You could win a PlayStation 1. Like, they just don't make stuff like this anymore. Have I got any good condition ones? No, because I didn't keep any of them on the pretense of selling them, my friend. I just kept them all. And you forget, like, I'm 27 years old. I had these magazines. I was like, 7 or 8? So no, none of them are in the best of condition, but I still own them. So I can be happy to know that I have a part of history that sadly a lot of people don't have anymore. And I'm quite sad to find out that, game guides like magazines, they exist, but they're just not like how they used to be. But thank you for watching another episode of GMG News. This was my little look back at my Pokemon Master Guide Collector's Edition, which is Edition 8. If you have enjoyed watching this video, leave a like on the video. And I will see you all in another one very, very soon. And if you want me to do more videos like this, just let me know in the comment section down below by leaving a comment and telling me what you want me to, what sort of content you want me to put up next. And I'll see you all in another video. Have a good one. Have a great day. Don't give up on yourselves. Keep on smiling.